In this video, I'll be going through some basic matrices things if you've forgotten from your studies of matrices last year. Okay, so matrices are a rectangular array of numbers that are usually given that look like this in square brackets, and they can be used to display various sets of information. If we're multiplying out various things, like got multiples of something, or pretty much heaps and heaps of things that you could display as a matrix. You do a lot of this topic on your CAS, but you also need to do you need to know a little bit by hand. The first really important thing is knowing the order of a matrix. We get the order of a matrix by the number of rows, by the number of columns. All right, so if I have a matrix like this, so remember our rows go this way and our columns go this way. So this matrix has 2 rows and it has 3 columns, so it's a 2 by 3. It seems really basic, but if you can't get your head around this part, you're going to find the more difficult sections of matrices really tricky. So make sure that you get this right. So it's your rows by your columns, and I just always say to my students, roller coaster, if they ever forget, but it's going to be in your summary book anyway. So number of rows by number of columns. All right. Some notation. So if we've got a matrix and I've given it a name of A, so the name of my matrix is capital A, each of the positions within my matrix have the letter also A, but it's a lowercase, and we use 2 numbers to represent its position. So for example, this little fella here, he is in row 1 and column 1. So again, order is super important with matrices, and we're always row, column. So the first number is your row number, the second number is your column number. All right. Now, for example, if I have matrix A and matrix B, if I say what is the element in 2, 1 of A, so I'm looking at this matrix here, the 2 represents row 2, so I'm in row 2, and the 1 represents the column. So I'm in row 2, column 1, and where they meet is my answer. So the element in A21 is -1. What about the element in let's go A3, 2. So A32, so now I'm in row 3, so this row down here, and I'm in position column 2. So where they meet is there, so it's -2. What about B? Let's go 1, 3. So this is telling me row 1 and column 3. So this element doesn't exist because it's not there. Okay, so where this comes into, you'll see it a lot, is usually a multiple choice question. I reckon the last few I've looked at there's at least one question every year. So let's have a look at what you might get in an exam question with this row and column number notation. For example, so this is a multiple choice question from a few years ago. The order of a matrix X is a 2 by 3. So let's just envision what that looks like. A 2 by 3 means I have 2 rows and 3 columns. So 2 by 3. The element in row I and column J of matrix X is Xij, and it is determined by the rule where we take the row number minus the column number. Which of the following calculations would result in matrix X? So there's a few ways that you can go about this, but let's have a look at what matrix X would look like with this rule. So the rule is, in each position or element, I'm going to take whatever row number that is, and I'm going to minus the column number. So for this position here, this one, I'm in row 1 and I'm in column 1. So this would be 1 minus 1 for that position. Okay. In the next place here, I'm still in row 1, but now I'm in column 2. So these are my columns, these are my rows. So here I'm row 1 minus 2. And this third position on the same row, I'm in row 1 minus 3, and so on and so forth. This next column, or this next row, I'm now in row 2, and I'm minusing the column position, which is 1. I'm in row 2, minusing the column position, and row 2, minusing the column position. All right. So if we look at the answers for this matrix, so I've got 0, 1 minus 2 is negative 1, 1 minus 3 is negative 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 2 minus 3 is negative 1. All right, so let's have a think about this. So how would I tackle this in an exam? I could either have a look at the solution, see which one of these is going to work it out, or I could think about this logically. So I've got a subtraction here of row number and column number. So in a row, if I'm just looking at row number of a 2 by 3, this first position is in row 1. This is also row 1. This is also row 1. And this position is row 2, row 2, row 2. So this is row position as a 2 by 3, isn't it? And if I look at just column position of a 2 by 3, this is column 1, this is column 2, this is column 3, right? So, and the rule is telling me that I need to subtract row number from column number. And if we have a look at this one here, that is what it is giving me. And if I check this, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 2 is negative 1, 1 minus 3, negative 2, so on and so forth. All right, so that is how you do those ones.